Hello and welcome to VATS Cast, where we discuss all things Fallout, Bethesda, and who knows what else, because we are some chatty bitches. I'm Tim, and tonight I am joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Granny Vat and Olden Fallout, as well as our special
Hello.
guest, the Mariner. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Good. All right.
I'm good.
Good.
I'm
Um,
here.
I know it was
I'm awake. I'm awake.
we all had the struggle
I'm
bus
awake,
today.
awake. Oh, yeah. Just the weather has been up and down. Timmy, you live in the same state I do.
I do,
It's
I
been
do. I know it has been all over the place. So
yeah. I
before
mean,
we
it's
get
up and
started,
down.
I wanted to thank our guest, the Mariner, for joining us tonight. How you doing?
Doing good, and thank you for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. So, where can people find you on the social media?
I'm not big on the social medias. I do have a Twitter account that I sometimes talk on or respond to, but mainly I'm on YouTube and Twitch and Rumble, multi-streaming my whatever game I happen to be playing. I'll be on those channels. So it's Deep Dive Gaming on YouTube, Deep Dive Gaming on Rumble. Deep Dive Gaming on Twitch.
Okay, and those will all be
Pretty easy
linked
to
in the
find.
description below, and
Yeah,
for
and
everybody
just
who
be
wants to check you out. So, next on our docket is we have a huge announcement for everybody. I'm super
Yes, yes,
excited.
yes.
Super,
So am
super
I.
excited. Next Saturday, February 28th, we are going to be recording with the illustrious Kingap, creator of Watchtower, Bard's College expansions, and notably for Sim
Settlement.
Settlements 1 and 2.
Yes.
Sim Settlements.
That
Yes. One of my favorites.
it is a blast. And that will be available later the week. So we're recording on Saturday the 28th, and it'll take me a couple days to get everything
Yeah, it'll be
chopped up,
March.
fix audio, stuff like that. Yeah, so it'll definitely be during the first week of March. But so just so everybody knows, we got that coming down the pipeline.
Hoot.
So
I'm excited about that.
I am too. The Old Man Fallout, what have you been playing lately?
We did some Fallout 3, some Fallout 4. I have one more day of Fallout 4. We're going to do a crowd control day, probably either later tonight or tomorrow. By the time this video comes out, it'll have already passed. And then we're going straight into probably Skyrim, actually. We also have oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it. What is the game? The other game that has a 2 that came from Obsidian.
Outer
Oh
Worlds.
my goodness. Thank you. Outer Worlds. We also are going to do Outer Worlds 2, but I think I'm going to do Skyrim before I do that.
Aren't you
What's
glad I
that?
pay attention?
Yeah,
Aren't you
I am
glad I
glad.
pay attention to what you say?
So yeah, that's what I've been playing, and I'm pretty excited about it. A lot of Skyrim, a lot of Outer Worlds 2, and one more day of Fallout 4.
Granny, what have you been playing?
I am excited because I am playing the biggest mod list I have ever had in my entire life. I'm playing Fallout New Vegas with 169 mods, Fallout 4 with 522, fixed to be 523, and Skyrim Special Edition, well, Anniversary Edition, with 233 mods. So, yes, I have probably between the three games nearly 900 mods.
Gosh.
Woof.
I couldn't imagine. And what about you?
And it's survival on the Fallout 4. I'm sorry, but I have never played a survival. And I'm already at level 6. And I have not
Congrats.
died to diseases yet.
You haven't made it to level 15. That's usually about where I give up on survival.
You'll
Casey,
never
let
get
me-
me to play survival. Never, ever.
I'm trying, but see, I played two days, 2 streams, and I've managed to get weakness, lethargy, parasites, and an addiction
Yep.
in 2 streams.
Sounds about right.
The endurance stat is so directly correlated. If you have an endurance of 10, you can go weeks without getting anything.
Yeah.
If you have an endurance of 1, 2, or 3, you're going to get so many
Oh
illnesses.
my God. I wish I would have talked to you before I started this playthrough because I went with a very low endurance to start with.
Yeah.
Wah,
usually
So I've
wah.
only got like 5
Oh.
endurance.
Uh,
Or
and
4.
and 4.
It's
Mariner,
lower. It's low. It's 3 or
Yeah.
4. Yeah, it's low. Very low.
and Mariner, what have you been playing on your stream around town?
Recently I have been diving into Fallout 4 with the Sim Settlements 2 mod. It had been a while since I'd done a full playthrough of Sim Settlements 2, and I had never done a guided tour of Chapter 3. On my channel, you can find a playlist of my first time through with chapters 1 and 2, nice and edited, YouTube videos to help guide through the playthrough or through the Sim Summons 2 mod story. It's been a while since Chapter 3 came out, and I've been hankering to do some Sim Settlements, so I'm doing kind of a semi-guided, semi-tutorial, semi-fun playthrough of Sim Settlements 2. I've got the Rise of the Commonwealth add-on settlements in there.
ROTC.
I've got a bit of, I've only using those. I've only using the ROTC settlements on pre-populated settlements. So like Oberlin Station, Abernathy Farm, Nordigan Beach, places like that. The ones where the ones that you either have to take from or defest state, like the ones like Starlight Drive-In, um, or Coop Renner, where you gotta get rid of the beasties. Those are I'm leaving for outposts for Chapter 3.
Okay.
And so, and then I've reserved a couple of settlements for my own construction, like Sanctuary Hills, Sunshine Tidings, the castle. Those are for independent builds, so I can have a little bit of fun designing and building my own stuff. And yeah, we're just into HQ, and I've run into some, and I'm relearning how to do some things in HQ. Turning some options on in the Sim Settlements 2 settings that I have not turned on before.
I went full automation with HQ.
I did the automation run in I think independent, like on my own. I tried out automation, and the enjoyment level's just not there. I'm somewhere between like I don't go full hardcore with Sim Settlements 2, but I do certain things, like I'll go component level for the junk. I'll be in charge of and direct what gets built where in HQ. I'm also like leaving the assignment requirements on for plots, so that I have to have the people trained up to the skill level to do like advanced or high tech.
You're going hardcore this time.
I'm going more hardcore than I probably have in a while.
Yeah, I tuned down my Sim Settlements too. It's on my load order too, because with the survival component added to my game right now, and the fact that the map that they've got on there is totally different than the map I'm used
I saw
that we're
it's more
used
like
to.
it's kind of like
And
a
it's very
it's
going
like
to be very
it's like a
hard.
satellite image. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that I don't have any little red dots to tell me there's enemies on the map. It's
Those aren't on your map.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
on
they're
survival
not
they turn
there.
that off.
Yeah, I mean, this is so I had to tone down some settlements too.
Yeah, I
So
can
that
see
I
how
could,
all that
yeah,
could be a bit much.
too many new systems, and then I've got all these brand new mods. Oh, by the way, oh man, Fallout, you are going to be happy. Heather
Yeah,
Cast
why?
and my Lord Order.
I am happy. I love her.
I've never had her. But
You're
I
a Heather
noticed she
Kasdan
was in the
fanboy.
pack.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
You know what? To be honest with you, I might not be a Heather Kasdan fanboy, in the sense that I don't really care whether she's Heather Kasdan or Tom something or
he's a scratch fanboy.
I am a fan of the mod author, whoever it is. I don't know who made Heather Kasdan, but what I do know is the mod author is so extensive with Heather Kasdan. He's got dialogue for not only the core game, but all the DLC. She says things for all the different locations in the DLC. And not only for the DLC, he's actually revised her to have commentary on some of the bigger mods. So you can bring her into a mod area and she'll start talking about the mod areas. And I'm just like, who is the guy who made this? Like, it's incredible all the work he put in. This is crazy.
Really?
So
Does he have?
I'm in love with the dude. Yeah.
Is there integration with Sim Settlements too? Because if so, I might bring her in.
I don't know because I've never played.
I don't know, but he's integrated her from what Old Man Fallout's told me. I've never used her, and I've only seen her a few times.
Yeah.
So I don't know. A lot of this mod is new, or a lot of this
And
collection that I'm using is brand new stuff.
Heather Kasdan is created by Llama RCA.
Thank you.
And I'm excited.
So,
I'm excited
I
because the
love Llama
robot,
then.
the robot
Yeah.
repair, settlement repair robot was in the mod list.
Yeah, that one's a good one too.
Compared to Granny, I don't do a lot of mods. For her, 500 something in Fallout 4, I have 68, and
I'm about
a
the
good
same.
number of
I'm
those are just quality of life stuff.
I think I run
My
on
game
average
looks
like
awesome, though. You got to
like
admit,
7.
my
Yeah,
playthrough, it's looking awesome.
Yeah.
The trees with the leaves and the snow. I've got seasons.
Yeah.
It was
What?
snowing.
got
Yes,
real
it was
weather?
snowing. Yes,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And I have been mostly playing Fallout 76 for the most part. I've actually even
What?
started
That's so crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
You
really.
play Fallout 76, really?
Yeah, I even started doing a couple of build videos too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm the guest here, so I'm missing an inside joke. I take it.
Timmy
Timmy
is
plays.
the resident 76er.
I am like the
Yeah.
resident.
What is your high characters level?
My highest character, he's hitting 1,000.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I think I'm like
Yeah.
980 right now. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that was really an inside joke because Timmy is our resident Fallout 76er.
Yeah. I play 76 in Starfield, but I don't play Skyrim. But we all play Fallout 4 and 3 and New Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't get into Skyrim. I've tried. I want to.
I tried once to get into Skyrim, and I can't
You
do
guys-
the medieval fantasy. It just doesn't ring
Yeah,
just
that's
doesn't
kind of
ring
where
with
I'm
me
at.
like Fallout 4 does.
Yeah.
Yeah, see
So-
now I like the medieval fantasy where you can, use bows and swords and magic. I love the magic aspect of it. And I've made my magic so cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I've got this disc in my hand, that rotates and it's really cool.
All right. So, you guys ready to talk about the main topic for the evening? Or main
I know.
topic 1 of 2?
Do it.
All right. So, all right, everybody, we wanted to discuss season 2, the second half. Talked about the first half already, but we can always refer back, obviously, of the Fallout TV show. And yeah, there was a lot going on there. There's
There's a lot to keep track of.
Does anybody want to start?
I'll start because there's something related to the last episode that we did of the show. Oh man, Fallout.
Yeah.
Timmy, when I told you guys that Deathclaw spoke to Cooper in Alaska, did you go back and listen?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
Kind of, but no.
I mean, I heard the audio. I didn't hear the word.
No, you couldn't make out what he was trying to say, but you could make out that he was actually trying to say something to Coop.
No.
I'm gonna have to
And
rewatch
I'm
that
not the
episode.
only one that caught it because if you refer to it was either Oxhorn or ESO, but they caught it also.
I'll
Yes,
have to
I do.
rewatch.
I watch them guys too.
I
Yeah,
rewatched
I
it.
watch
It
a
was a
lot
little
about
bit of a
Storm.
reach, I think.
Yeah, I'm with Timmy T.
I'll have
I
to go
don't
see
know.
because I didn't catch it. I was too busy reacting to the fact that it's
They were
a Deathclaw
experimenting with.
in the 2070s. I'm like in Alaska. I'm like that's new.
Okay,
It's
but you got to
it's
remember they were
That's old,
experimenting
actually.
with intelligent death claws way back in Fallout 1.
well, Fallout 2 had intelligent death claws. It was
All right.
the main one that was a companion was Gormus. Or I'm probably getting the name butchered, but it was like Gormith or Gorlath.
A lot of what the Enclave was experimenting on, it's coming to pass that they were experimenting before the war with a lot
It
of this stuff.
the
Yeah.
death claws are it is a well established lore that they were pre-war from Jackson Salamanders and that they were part of military research projects which essentially were funded by the Enclave because the Enclave pre-war controlled the American military industrial complex.
Yeah. They were supposed to be in Operation Anchorage. They're supposed to be in Operation Anchorage, but they were never depicted. For example, if you play Fallout 3 and you do Operation Anchorage, there's no Deathclaw like army there or anything.
Yeah, they should have been,
But the lore was that they were supposed to be there.
Yeah. They were just like there but off camera.
well, you
Yeah.
know, you got to stop and think the games, they didn't put a lot of things in the games that they should have put in.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
skipped over a lot of things.
So but
Content.
yeah,
And I know Old Man Fallout's got something to say after the show thing because, yeah.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I do have a lot to say, but I want to shut my mouth and let you guys talk for a little bit.
no,
Yeah,
go-
I know he's got a lot. This isn't referring to the show. We'll do this one after the show.
Oh, okay.
So back to the
Fair
show.
enough.
All right.
Yeah, it's on my mind.
Yeah, let's get it out, man. Go. Rip the Band-Aid off.
I don't know if this is what Granny VATS is referring to, but I really loved season 2. Really loved season 1. Thought it was great. I really am happy with a thing that they fixed from season 1 to season 2, which is in season 1, they saved all the reveals for the last episode, and it was just tense. It was so tense. You're watching that last episode, and it's just reveal after reveal after reveal. It's mind-blowing, but it also meant that the previous episodes kind of felt a little bit like, well, when are we getting anything?
Right.
And in season 2, they started the reveals in the penultimate episode, in episode 7, and then continued in episode 8, which made it feel a lot better because you weren't waiting till the very last minute for everything. You're still waiting to the second half, but they started doing reveals right away, and I just felt a lot better about that. I think it was much
ties
yeah,
in.
I felt like they dragged it on.
Okay.
See, honestly, I feel like we really only had a 2-episode season.
Yeah.
You mean the last 2 or something?
The last,
is that what you mean?
basically, they drug out the first 6 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And so first, let me preface this with I enjoyed season 2 overall. I thought it was solid. It was good. It had a lot of good stuff in it. But I do feel like that they kind of drug us along for 6 episodes just to kind of remove the tourniquet right at the end and just and give us all everything in the last 2 episodes.
I agree.
Well, that's why I'm saying like that's kind of what I felt about season 1, but with just the last episode. So in season 1, it was all just coming to the last episode. In season 2, it was coming to the last 2 episodes.
Right.
So you're doing twice as good with season 2.
Yeah, they are doing a little better there.
But having said that, the thing that I've been thinking about it is I've watched a lot of people do reactions to the season 2 episodes. I've seen a lot of people chatting about it on Reddit and other places, and then my viewers have been chatting me up about it on my live streams. And one of the things that seems to be really universal is, wow, it's really cool the way everything's interconnected, and it's really cool how they plotted everything out, and it seems like it's sort of like a mastermind of a show where they've figured out how everything's going to be in advance. It's really amazing. And my thought was, I really do like it. I love the first season about that, especially for that reason. But I'm starting to feel like it's sort of just a new type of show blueprint or something, which is just the look at how everything's interconnected blueprint. The look at how everything will shock you because there's a story from the past about it blueprint.
Oh, you mean memory berries?
No, not really member berries, because that rides on nostalgia, and you can't have really nostalgia when the show's referring to something that happened in the past that you haven't even seen yet. But I mean something along the lines of like House and Cooper go way back, but also Cooper goes way back with kind of everybody and everything. He's interconnected to every plot. He's interconnected to everything.
Yeah.
But then also it's super convenient. There are contrived circumstances where, like, for example, and I think it was the final episode, Cooper just shows up right as Lucy is in trouble. They'd been separated. They were not near each other. But then somehow he's made it back to right where she is. He's right on the same level that she's on, and he somehow saves her butt right at the last moment. It's another one of these sort of convenient things that's just happening, and it's like weird how everything's so interconnected to the point that it all just perfectly works, perfectly timed. Another one is the NCR. So you have Max fighting Deathclaws, and he's losing, which is very compelling and interesting. And then the NCR, who the show so far has portrayed as kind of decimated, just reforms, conveniently timed, just so they can bail him out at the very last moment.
Right before
And
the
they're all
Legion shows up.
marching in perfect formation and so on. And I think it's really cool when you haven't seen this style of TV show before, and it's kind of like, wow, it's so amazing how it's all coming together. But if you sort of pull back from the show and look at it objectively, everything always comes together exactly perfectly timed, even if it's weird given how the show has talked about something. They talk about the NCR being decimated, but then weirdly, they're reformed just in time for Max, and so on. So,
I mean, they
but
mention that there's a battalion up the hill, but
there was that group that were there, and there was only they said that they weren't all there. If you watch one episode,
I agree.
She says they weren't all there, so that's not a big group.
That's the seed that they put in. Well, I feel like they put that in as early in the season as a seed, being like, we're going to have the NCR bail out one of our main characters. But from where did they come? Oh, well, if we mentioned like 4 episodes back that they're actually off somewhere, then it'll be okay. But the problem is, a lot of people paying attention will see through that. I did. The NCR, while cool that they showed up, and it was very cool that they recreated the scene from the opening of New Vegas, I object to the fact that they're there in the first place, because we had no sign of them before that. Nowhere. We had one episode with 2 people.
No interest in retaking the strip.
Yeah, and bringing back the
I mean, who ran to them and said, "Hey, they're taking the strip. Come on."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then there's also
like, but there is.
One thing really quick before before you go. They did the same thing kind of with the Legion. They gave us one episode in the beginning being like, ooh, this is the Legion. You finally get to see the Legion since we're in New Vegas now. But then the way they leave it is like, well, you're never going to see them again because they're just too busy infighting. And then all of a sudden in the last episode, it's like, nope, we're bringing them back.
We're taking Vegas.
But this is kind of what I was getting at.
Why?
This is what I was getting at, where it was like, it kind of seemed like they stretched out the first 6 episodes, and then they just mushed everything.
Yeah, they could have put so much more in there. They could have given us more about the Legion. They could have given us more about the NCR, but they just left all that for your imagination.
My thought is for like season 3, I'm still totally in love with the show. I think the show is getting better, not worse.
Yeah,
but I do think that the Nolan brothers, I guess, and is it Lucas Nolan who's doing this one? I can't remember his name, but Mr. Nolan, the gentleman who is heading up the TV show, he may be over reliant on convenient timing for everything, and it's starting to get a little much. It's starting to get a little weird to me. that everything just magically, seamlessly like pulls together in the final moment perfectly for whatever is needed. And I'm starting to feel like, Mr. Nolan, maybe could you just do some legwork beforehand in the early episodes?
Like set these up a little bit better. Do a little bit better writing.
A little more legwork than
you don't need to make your plot armor so obvious.
Well, and do a little more setup than just a passing. I mean, because they did set it up with the NCR, but it was literally one line in passing in a scene 4 episodes ago.
All right, well, I have to do this, okay? Because I promised. I made a promise to grilled cola. I did.
Grilled cola.
Yes, I made a promise that I was going to let you know, old man Fallout, that we were correct when we did our last show, that the Enclave was behind it. And, you know, I told her that I was going to rib you about it. She said, you better rub it in good. She couldn't be here. I did invite her. But no, she couldn't be here.
You know, if Grilled Cola wants to rip on me for that, she's welcome to, because she's a delight. So let's bring Grilled Koala back. I think she's awesome. Let's do it.
Oh, I did invite her because I thought that, you know, maybe she should be here too, because she was here for the last one. But she had, one of her children had a ballet thing today, so she couldn't be here.
All right. We'll get her back. She's so fun.
Yeah, well, and like my whole point with the stretch out the time, like take Norm's arc for example, okay? All of his on-air time for like 2 episodes. God.
Yeah.
Was just
I hate Norm so much. That is a pointless arc. That and Vault 3233 are both pointless arcs.
Okay.
Well, no, I think that's gonna go into thoughts of season 3.
But
my prediction.
They did him dirty.
I'll hold that.
Did him so dirty.
How did they do him dirty? What are you talking about?
All right, 2 episodes, right? Here's his 2 episodes. He gets captured, knocked out. Next scene is like 30 seconds of him waking up to get knocked out again.
To find out about the FEV.
Not even.
Then get knocked out again.
Not even. He found out about the FEV, then got knocked out. Then the next episode, his only scene is him waking up and getting knocked out again. It's like, what? Why are you trying to?
I have a theory behind why Vault 3233 and Norm are so scattered and seemingly insignificant. But I can get into that after a little bit.
I think they're gonna roll that in season 3.
But just like the fact that why did they even that is literally just wasting screen time. That was 30 seconds. Like we barely get 40-minute episodes.
No, I think it's still along the lines of the format he's using. Okay, because like he did with the NCR and the Legion, he's doing that with Norm. Only next season we're gonna have to think back to season 2 and go, oh yeah, you know, this is why these things are happening.
Yeah, there's a. I'll go ahead and go into it now. There is a old school 80s 90s trick that they used to do when they had enough episodes to be able to pull it off, and that is the flashback episode. So the season progresses, the main character is doing this stuff, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, a character from 3 seasons in the past magically appears. But then without missing a beat, the next episode is 10 years, is like however many hours or days or weeks ago, and then it slowly progresses the timeline up to present day, centered on that character. But they can't do that when the seasons are only 8 hours long. So what do they have to do? Drop 5 minutes here, drop 30 seconds here, drop 2 minutes here. And there's no point in doing it, or there's seemingly no point in doing it until season 4 or 5, when Norm and Lucy are finally going to link up, and you've got all of Norm's backstory, so they don't have to go into it at all about why Norm is suddenly there where Lucy is. And it's not good storytelling, because it's like Timmy said, it's a waste of screen time.
Yeah. And the screen time is so limited.
Right.
You know, but I honestly don't mind. It could be a waste of screen time, but here's my problem. I like Norm.
Oh, I love Norm. I wish they would focus on him more. Norm could sit in a chair
and pick his nose, and I would be like, this is compelling drama. Like, I just like him. So They could throw him on screen a bunch. It'd be fine for me.
Okay,
I'd rather
well-
watch his plot line than Lucy's, honestly.
Vault 32, Vault 3233. Tell me that's not a waste. There's
It
nothing
depends.
there.
It depends. Here's the thing. We just heard in the final episodes from Lucy's dad, Hank, that what did he say? The vaults are not the experiment, the surface is. And there is some light hinting. I'm going to apologize to our viewers. You may fast forward 30 seconds if you don't want to hear a spoiler for the whole TV series all the way through season 4, 5, 6, 7. But this is just a guess. It's probably wrong, as Grilled Koala will point out 3 seasons from now. There was a hint that the vaults were potentially going to be part of a big experiment where they dumped FEV on them or did some other thing, super mutantizing them or doing other things with them and then unleashing them on the surface. And that was partly where it seemed like Norm was being led. And because of that, there is a potentially major plot point there where the surface could be changed dramatically based on what happens to those vaults. And the big sadness or big issue is kind of what you guys are saying, which is that probably wouldn't be revealed until season 4 or 5. But
or 8.
or 8. But although I will say in that interview that we're going to talk about the interview with Todd Howard shuts that right down in his interview. He flat out said, I don't like it when people drag shit out. We're going to only have 3, 4, 5 seasons and we're done.
They're going to tell a story.
Actually,
and then
the interview with Todd Howard that I wanted you to talk about.
Oh, that's what you want? Okay, I'm ready. I got notes about that one. We'll get that soon.
Before we do that, let's take a quick commercial break. And we're back. All right.
Woot.
So, time to move on to the next subject.
Whoop, whoop.
We're
not off the subject of the show yet.
Yeah, we still had our final thoughts.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Granny patiently waited.
You patiently...
for you guys to say your thoughts before I said mine.
Okay, go ahead. Fire away, Granny.
Well, I waited so long I had a brain fart.
Whoops.
Better than a brain shark.
We're like, say them, and then it's just dead silence.
Yeah,
commercial
because
break
you
was
guys
a little
put me
too
on the
breaky.
spot. All right. I really enjoyed season 2. Let me get that out of the way. As we were saying, the way that they presented it, I wasn't too happy with. I feel like we got maybe 2 hours of good content out of 8. Maybe I'm going a little low. All right, but I was Real Koala and I were right about the Enclave being behind it, and that's who Hank is trying to contact. Because we said it, and we knew it.
He's got the Pip Boy, man. He's got the membership card. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but everybody's got the Pip Boy thing, all right? And House, everybody was saying, oh, it's got to be House. No. House became a minor player right there before the war.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I said that House had a body double, and you guys were like, no, it's not a body double. But that he had it. Yeah, but it said in the show that he had several throughout the time, body doubles. He didn't just have the one that we saw at that one particular moment. He had several throughout his lifetime. So he tended to be more than Howard Hughes. He stayed the recluse and let his body doubles do all the out in public stuff. Okay? Now, as far as where the show I think it's going, the Enclave, we don't know if what the compound they showed us is actually in Colorado, but we do know that Cooper is on his way to Colorado because that's where he thinks his wife is.
Well, yeah, that's the name of the episode. The princess is in another castle.
Yeah. The thing is,
that's the joke.
I'm thinking that she's more behind it than it's showing us. It's making it look like, that she's just a victim, which I think
Oh, you think
maybe
it's
in
a
the
red
beginning.
herring?
Yeah, I think she might have been a victim in the beginning, but she got pulled into their scheme because she wanted to save her family, and the only way she could save her family was to play along with the Enclave.
Or daughter, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
well,
they
her
even
family.
reveal at the
And
end is
she
what?
still loved Coop. They
Yeah.
Yeah.
divorced only because he wanted it. They wanted it to look like she had nothing to do with what he did.
To save Janie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they divorced. They didn't divorce because they were mad at each other.
I really hope that when Coop gets to Colorado, that it's not another instance of, oh, there's another 200-year-old person who's still alive after the apocalypse
Yeah,
in
and
the
the
modern
princess is
time.
in another castle.
Yeah. I
But
have a
that,
feeling
like,
it's going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be because I mean we don't know how Moldaver survived, so we don't know how whether she's going to be the normal the she's
or
we don't know
Wilsig,
whether she was in cryo-freeze for 200 years.
or
And
like how the
something had
fuck,
to happen because she did survive, so she had to have been cryo frozen or
or what
something.
about Wilsig?
Yeah.
Wilsig's pre-war and
Yes,
got his
So
head
there's a
lopped
number
off.
there's a number of Enclave people or Vault-Tec people that got frozen solid and then released. We just don't know when or how. But my theory is that like Moldaver, we're gonna find the ghoul's wife young compared to the ghoul. Janie might be
I,
full grown by now by the time he finds them, but
also there is a theory that Stephanie's baby is Hank's, and the only way that I think could have been possible is if she was pregnant when she was cryo frozen, or if
no,
they
they
did
were
it
out of the
right
vault
after he
in the
got out.
yeah, I
But
think they're
she hasn't been
probably
out that long.
not no, but she'd probably been out. She could have been out long enough for her and Hank to have had an affair before the events of season 1 happened.
Possibly.
Or maybe they, well, so if you think of the
Wasn't
timeline as
she?
far as,
No, I was thinking, and I tried to look it up, and I didn't get a chance before the show. But wasn't she married to a guy in the
She was
vault? He
married to a
died during
guy.
the uprising. Didn't he get killed in that uprising when the
yes,
Raiders? Yes,
Yeah.
I thought so. I think
Mr.
the baby was
Shoes.
his.
yeah. So
I
But
yeah.
the
they should.
timeline does work if, so there is a point in time where Hank's out of the vault, and is married to his wife before he kills her by nuking Shady Sand.
Right.
And Steph is released and potentially not married, and they could have, done the thing.
Possibly.
Right. Then
yeah,
as a cover up for her being pregnant, she gets married.
That's possible. She could have come out
Even
of cryo
though most
pregnant.
of the vault
No, I'm
31
saying she
people,
got pregnant in the vault by Hank after she came across from
And
Vault
then got
31.
married real quick to cover
and then
up
got
the
married to
fact that she
cover
got
it up,
pregnant.
basically. Because, like, you know how they were doing the cultural exchange every 3 years? That's so
Yeah.
they can cover up the, like, oh, we thaw one person every
Yeah,
30.
and if she was the last cultural exchange, then there's plenty of time.
Yeah. Like, it does line up. You got to
Well, they
kind
were
of tilt your head
releasing
and
one
squint your
every
eyes.
30
But
years. Yeah, but they were releasing them one every 30 years. That's if you look at go through the
that's the
season, they were releasing them
she
one
couldn't.
every
That
30
could
years.
they couldn't be
Steffi,
because
Steph,
Betsy and Hank are about the same age. They would have had to have been released together.
no, Betsy's older than
no,
Hank.
they did say in the show,
Betty.
Randy Watts is
Betty.
right. They did in the show that there is one person from the management vault released every 30 years.
Right.
Mathematically, that does not work at all, but they did flat out say that in the show. One every 30.
Maximus and Lucy, they're at the end when they join up. At the end of season 1, she says at the last, she says to him, "Find me." Okay, here they meet up on the last episode of this one. But what is he going to think of her when he finds out that her dad is responsible for his dad's death? That's my
He already
last
knows.
thought.
Yeah, they're saving that drama for later.
No, he doesn't know that it's her dad that caused Shady Sands. He doesn't know that yet.
It's not been explicitly mentioned in his
No,
presence.
no.
Nope.
He spent the entire season. He and Lucy spent the
Wait,
entire
I
season
might be
apart.
confused. Are we talking about Max and Lucy right now? Talking about Hank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the final episode, Max releases Hank from the jail cell, and Lucy says no, and Max says why, and she says to Max, "Shady Sands. He's responsible for Shady Sands." That was flatly
I'll
stated in
have
the
to go
final
back and
episode.
look. I have to go look. I
Yeah.
didn't. That's something I must have missed.
That's how Max gets knocked out at the end of the final episode.
Okay,
Is
because
he's
that's what I
filled
was
with
wondering.
rage, and he goes to throw a punch at Hank over it, and Hank beats the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, he does beat the shit out. But
Power
I didn't
armor
think it was for
fist.
that though.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Well,
what happens
yeah,
when
Well,
you
if
have
they-
power
cannon burning
armor
from force
was
strength.
some badass shit.
We'll have
Yeah.
to go back and
Actually-
rewatch seasons 1 and 2. That's all there is
Yeah,
to it.
well, the power
Good
armor
excuse.
in
Yeah.
the show is actually better than the power armor we get in the game. Because man, you can't do that shit to the enemies in the game. Knock them that far when you just punch them in the power armor. No way. You
You've
kick
got
them and they go
you've got
flying.
what is it? Pain Train. You've got Pain
Yeah,
Train in
Pain-
power armor.
Pain Train will let you do it.
Oh, I've
finally-
never
Pain Train's
taken.
amazing.
They finally
I
fixed
see. I'm
that.
not a power armor person. I just after a while, I just collect them, and I let them
Yeah.
sit, collect dust.
So let's Mariner, what were your final thoughts?
So for me, the main thing is, and I talk about this. I've actually written a couple of articles with my thoughts on Fallout Season 1, both before it actually aired and then after, and then my thoughts on what they need to do with Season 2 in order for, or what not to do with Season 2 to make it a success. And you can find those articles on lagginout.com if you're curious. Timmy will put up a link to that. But my biggest thing is that this show has been consistently feeling like Fallout. And that's the biggest thing, is if it
Yes.
continues to feel like Fallout, we'll continue to watch. As soon as it stops feeling like Fallout, or if it had not felt like Fallout from the very beginning, this show would be DED dead. But because they have actually managed to capture the feel of Fallout in this show. And the perfect example is Lucy. She's the perfect avatar for everyone who's played Fallouts 3 and 4, where they do such a good job of replicating player experience, leaving the vault, running into Deathclaws, running into raiders, running into, most specifically, scorpions, but also like all of a sudden she's hooked on chems. I'm like,
I loved it.
I've had that experience. I'm playing the game. I've had to use a chem to be able to accomplish something, and the next thing I know, I'm hooked. Oh, and then just
actually, I did that yesterday.
Just the fact that we have an avatar for all the players' experiences has been. This is the reason why my favorite character is Lucy, is because she's the avatar for all of us who've played. She's having the experiences that we've all experienced. When she's all hyped up on the chems and they're just getting to New Vegas and they see all the ghouls, she's just like going, you know what? Let's just go to town. Boom, 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 boom. I've had that moment.
Right.
So it's the perfect avatar. She's the perfect avatar for the players. I've said it too many times now.
Guys, I'm having a squirrel moment. I'm having a squirrel moment. That cat behind you, that cat behind you, old man Fallout, has been cleaning himself now for like a half hour.
That's Lily. Yeah, she's a little sweetheart.
But I it's like squirrel.
Look at that kitty in frame now. Look at her go.
You could actually just give her all kinds of kisses because she's nice and clean.
Yeah.
I'm serious. She's been doing it for like a half hour.
So I was going to compliment the show, building off of what you just said, the Mariner, and that is,
well, you can take the dot off if you're directly addressing me.
I thought I was really impressed with the show in that one. There's like a second that they did something I thought was very cool, and they don't stay on it, they don't linger on it, but it was just really nice. It was that moment when Lucy is shooting down ghouls, and she turns, to her ghoul friend and says, "It's cool to kill them because they're just ghouls, right?"
Ooh, I hadn't caught that.
I just thought,
I hadn't caught that
wow.
implication. Wow,
Yeah,
good pickup.
that was why I'm complimenting them on it, is they didn't linger on it. A lot of people wouldn't pick up on it because the show was not like pointing at it and going, look at how mean we're being to the ghoul right now. They just left it. They're just like, no, Lucy's really drugged out. She's saying dumb stuff.
They just
Here we
dropped
go.
that turd bomb and kept going.
Yeah. But I will say on the negative side of Fallout is that this particular season lacked for plot for the first 2 episodes. There was nothing happening. It was, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. None of it was consequential. All of the stuff with the Legion, not consequential. The stuff they crap for all the praise people are giving the show about recognizing New Vegas. They crapped all over the Kings. The King Ghoul dies ungraciously, unceremoniously. No lines, no matter, no relevance, just gone. And that's one of the things that's been divisive about the show. I've been seeing is that there's yes, they're in New Vegas, but they're not making anything relevant. They seemingly have taken the side of the Yes Man ending for New Vegas, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because the NCR is back, the Legion is back, House is maybe back, and so you could completely completely discount everything that happened in New Vegas because we've gone full circle. Everything is right back to where it was before the New Vegas game. And they have conveniently left out the biggest thing of New Vegas, the game, which was Hoover Dam.
Yeah. I'm less worried because I feel like them unleashing some devastation on New Vegas leaves it open and lovely for a new game where we would come in as a player and have some agency in repairing or doing other things with New Vegas. I think there's something interesting there.
Yeah.
Also, you said something about New Vegas that I wanted to give you some reassurance on. What was it? The Kings. I will note that somebody involved with the show, I wish I could remember who, because I would love to give you the link so you could look it up and see it for yourself. But they were interviewing someone with the show. It might have been Todd Howard. It might have been the Nolan brothers. But someone was saying, like, we didn't wipe out the Kings. No. If anybody got the impression that the Kings are gone, they're wrong. There are some Kings that were ghoulified, and Lucy had a field day with them. But that was not the entire group of the Kings. There are still Kings. So if you're...
Yeah, but they still got rid of the leader because obviously he's the one with the gold jacket.
I mean, they inferred it, but they didn't explicitly state it.
I mean, but they dressed the guy the same way. Watch Oxcorn's review of that particular episode. He makes some very good points about how the guy is dressed, the guitar, things like that. So
don't take everything Oxcorn says as gospel these days, because he plays a little fast and loose with his lore now. He used to be a lot tighter than he is now.
But let's assume he's right, though. I still don't think it hurts too much because, again, if we get, let's say, New Vegas 2 built by Obsidian and they just put us in New Vegas again with the ability to interact with everything, and we could rebuild things, we could learn about the new Kings. We can,
I agree.
Well,
I agree about the Yes Man ending, because if you look when Cooper first goes in there to put the
you got the robot on the ground.
You got the robot laying almost exactly where Yes Man falls when he jumps into the computer.
But the problem with that is that you have to, in order to do the Yes Man ending, you have to explicitly kill House.
Yeah, but you killed the body. You did not kill the body.
You killed the body. There's a theory amongst my group that he's actually been backed up. Like what was loaded up on the screen is his digital backup copy.
But his digital backup copy would be frozen in place to where it was copied, not current. So
but copies can be updated. So
they can.
It's a differential backup. He's got a full backup every 7 years, and then
on top of the fact that it's his mind.
But at what point? Okay, I get what you're saying.
Because the argument is there for this because look at Nick Valentine in Fallout 4. There is look at spoilers. Look at Magnuson in Sims Elements 2. I know that's not technically lore, but they went off the same principle. There are they have there you can copy a person's personality
Yep.
and back it up. And so it's not that big of a stretch to think that we're dealing with a backup copy of House and it's fully intelligent and cognizant, full
Well,
personality in
yeah,
place.
I'm not saying that, but there would be gaps in that data.
Right, but he recognized Coop.
Not necessarily though, because he thinks ahead. So
Yeah,
if
he's
he
obsessed
had
with that.
cameras all over the place, keeping watch on all the data coming in from everywhere, he's still going to be kept in the loop.
Yeah.
I can absolutely imagine a house that is obsessed with that kind of stuff. And when House becomes a fully realized computer AI something, he just goes nuts with that because at that point, he's not limited to the pace of a human mind watching one video. He could then essentially assimilate hundreds of video feeds into his personality, psyche, AI, whatever, in the matter of minutes as his computers just suck in all the data and integrate it into him and he processes.
Right,
I mean,
'cause
that
he had
loading
his
that loading screen went for all of 30 seconds before it booted up. So I mean, it could have been loading up all the data during that
Well, and
period.
there is that little bit in the Yes Man ending where he talks about he found some data in actually here's my little theory. So you remember the Yes Man ending where he talks about that he found some program inside of House's mainframe that can help him be a little more assertive. Yes Man went to go activate that and then got overwritten with the House AI.
Yeah.
That could
Yeah,
totally
that
happen.
you notice that on the last episode also when Lucy and Maximus are looking out over New Vegas. For a brief second, House shows back up on the screen.
Well, yeah, that's just because his Pip-Boy that he offloaded himself to was able to reestablish.
Did he offload himself to, or did he network himself to? That's my question.
Yes, because Cooper left him laying there on the Pip-Boy. And we don't know if Cold Fusion is still sitting there now.
Yeah.
Oh, it is because he's still powered up.
That's one of two of my final thoughts. That's one of two of my final thoughts. The final thought that I have regarding where the show's going to go, I would like it to leave New Vegas behind. Honestly, I would like it to leave Vaults 32 and 33 behind. I know they can't do that one. I call him Norbert because I don't like him. I really wish they would leave him alone or like forget about him, but I know they can't do that. But just leave New Vegas out of it. Leave it a big question mark so that if they do another game, you can have some say as to what happens there. But as far as the whole Cold Fusion thing, that can't happen. If the Enclave had Cold Fusion, they would not have had to do anything that they did in Fallout 1 and 2. They would have been the superpower. They would not have been defeatable. I mean, obviously they haven't been defeatable because they keep cropping up everywhere. But the biggest problem that I have is they have Cold Fusion, but they're not using it. That's dumb.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. And the president was given the Cold Fusion before the war, and we're assuming that the president is actually the one
who gives it to the Enclave.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the president was in the Enclave.
Yeah.
Right. So that's our connection. Cold Fusion is given to the president to the Enclave has Cold Fusion in the future. But again,
they didn't use it.
Why weren't they using it?
Because
it's the dumbest thing ever.
Basically backwards engineered it back into.
They didn't need to backwards engineer it. They needed to use it.
Well, no, they didn't.
You don't
something happened where they did.
You don't have a. Yeah, it had to have. Something had to have happened because
I look forward to that explanation because now, as it stands, it's stupid. They need it.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
It's inventing. It's like having a replicator in your house and still cooking.
Yeah.
Star Trek reference.
Or still eating dog meat because you could replicate lasagna, but you're eating dog meat.
Yeah.
Well,
dumb.
according to Star Trek lore, The replicators don't quite
careful.
taste as good as real
let's
food.
let's not go off on Star Trek lore because we'll be here all day.
Tea, Earl Grey. Let's go.
Granny's been watching Star Trek since she was a little girl. So
Me too.
yeah,
I love me some DS9.
Well, not a little girl, but still.
All right.
yeah.
all right.
Well, you know, I'm a lot older than you are, Mariner.
I would
and
bet you you are not as far apart as you think. I would bet you.
I'm 63 years old.
I am 18 years behind you.
That's still.
I'm 47, and I'm the baby on the podcast.
Apparently not today.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, my
Hey, I'm not the
grandchildren are
baby.
24 and going on 22. So, yeah.
He's old man Fallout. I
That's
guess
right.
I'm young man Fallout.
There
Very
you
nice.
go.
Although
Hey,
one
you
of
know
my
what?
viewers, shout out to my viewer Dylan, he's going to be very upset that you're calling yourself Young Man Fallout. I have
I'm
a
not
viewer of
going to be
mine
calling myself young
who,
man Fallout.
who calls himself Young Man Fallout, and
Okay, fair.
he feels
All
he's got the name on lock.
All right, well, they can keep it.
Yeah.
All right. So there was an interview with Todd Howard on Kind of Funny Games podcast where he discusses the TV show and a bunch of other upcoming projects. So,
And one of the
care
things
to
that he
start?
says will be very, very sad for the Mariner, because one of the things that gets said is we are going to stay in New Vegas for season 3.
I heard that, and I was disappointed.
Yeah, he does say they're doing that, so that's rough.
I fixed my typo and my spelling.
Well, I'll start talking about his interview by saying I was really appreciative of something that he did that was very mean to people like me. I was very appreciative that Todd was mean to me. And what I mean by that is kind of in the opening few minutes of the interview, he's being asked about Starfield and the big Starfield 2.0 update that's coming, which Todd says is not Starfield 2.0. It's just another update. But what he did say was, it's not for people like me. He said flat out, this is not a cyberpunk moment where we revise the game to the point where everybody celebrates the game. He said, this is just another update that will be nice for all the people who like Starfield. And if you don't like Starfield, I think what he said is, if you bounced off Starfield and just couldn't handle the game or didn't like the game,
If it wasn't
some
for
way,
you, I think is what he said.
The update's not gonna help you. It's not for you. He's made it so clear in this interview that he's done, and I don't mean it in a mean way. He wasn't really being a jerk, but he just is done with people like me who are like, Starfield's not good enough, make it better. He's just like, no, we have an audience for Starfield, and it's not you, old man Fallout, and we don't care.
Well, it's not Granny either.
You know? Yeah, it's a very small Fallout, small.
But that's
following.
also another interesting thing that he said in the interview, which is my second note, which is
I'm excited for it. Honestly.
He says Starfield was, and I quote, a Game Pass beast. That his game got credit for months of Game Pass income, just potentially hundreds of millions of dollars, because
it's still like that.
everybody was playing Starfield through Game Pass, and so
no one wanted to own it outright.
But to him, he didn't care. He made the money, so he was so happy in this interview. The guy interviewing him, whose name I'm forgetting, I apologize to the dude who was interviewing him, but the guy who interviewed him was asking about that, and Todd was just like, it did fantastic. It was, what did he say? A Game Pass hours beast. It made so much money as far as they're concerned. It didn't matter that it didn't make it in actual sales. In fact, probably better that it didn't make it in sales, because that means everybody's got to reacquire it later if they want it. They just threw money at Game Pass. It all was credited to Starfield, and he's riding high on it. He's thrilled. So
but it's got a lot of hours on Game Pass. One of the things that people don't realize with Starfield, I mean, as much as everybody shits on it all the time, and even like King Gats even talked about this, and I'm sure we can touch on this next week, is that like his sales of Watchtower and of McLaren Outfitters is substantial enough for him to launch his own company.
Yeah.
and sustain it.
Yeah, that's what actually that I've got King Gath coming on for, is mostly more to talk about creations to help us as people that don't know much about creations, whether or not we can mod on top of creations,
You
and
can,
where he's going, where his company's going.
yeah.
That's
And 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 while that audience isn't necessarily, I I I always make the joke whenever I talk about like people at, like with people at work or around, like every nobody likes Starfield because everybody hates Starfield because it wasn't Fallout 5 or Elder Scrolls 6.
yeah, that's not why I don't like Starfield.
Well, what I mean is the joke is that it's not, there's an audience for Elder Scrolls. There's an audience for Fallout. And those were for a long time Bethesda's only audiences.
Well,
And
see,
then
I
when they
was very hopeful for Starfield. I was when it was coming out. I was so hopeful because he was talking about how you're going to be able to build settlements in space, and how you're going to have all these new world spaces. And it's all basically all the world spaces are basically generic. They're pretty much the same, a lot of them.
I mean, the Rocky Moon.
And the settlement system is not
It's
as
broken,
good
is
as
what it
Fallout.
is.
Yeah, it's not as good as Fallout. So yeah,
Not even,
I
not
was
even
very
just, not even not
disappointed.
as good as Fallout. I mean,
See,
it's literally broken because you have to
Yeah.
have so many different materials from so many different locations to build one outpost, and
Yeah.
it's self-defeating. I tried doing it on a stream or a couple of streams. I tried
that's
to
not
go
true
through,
because
set
I
up
go
a
to
settlement.
I go to I go to I go to Jemison, which is the main hub planet that you go to right at the beginning of the game. I spend less than 1,000 credits, and I never have to spend another penny building an outpost.
For me, the issue with
And I
Outposts
expand
is
up from
not the credits and not the materials. For me, the issue with Outposts was my brain had this expectation, which maybe is unfair, but I still have it anyway, which was, oh, this is coming 10 years after Fallout 4. The settlement building will be 10 years more advanced.
That
There'll
was
be
my
more
brain.
materials. There will be more ways to manipulate objects. There'll be more ways to carefully place objects. There'll be more grids you can use and other things. It's going to be amazing. And it won't take up as much memory because they'll be better at managing all these objects and blah, blah, blah. And what ended up happening is it was like a hint of a settlement system. It was like, well, we did it in the past. I guess we have to do it now. Quick, put something together.
Well,
That shit doesn't need to be as good as it was in the past. And I just hated that.
The settlement system, the base building system in Starfield is very much designed for setting up a role-playing, like manufacturing and resource extracting system. It's purely something you do to do because you like managing all these resources and all these different ships coming from one planet to another at a certain rate, and then you got to make sure that you're producing enough resources so that all your fabricators don't stop. Do what?
That's the flaw that was in the flaw that was the settlement systems in Fallout 4. It was there just as something to do. It did not impact it did not impact the story. Did not impact
it totally does if you're doing survival
playing. It was just there as a thing to do while if you get bored doing your quests.
Well, that's what role playing is you just do it to role play. You don't do it for a purpose.
Yeah,
you do it
there's no role playing involved in settlement construction. It's just
Fallout 4
I'm going to build
vanilla,
things.
You get Preston in the very beginning, and he's like, "Hey, we're going to rebuild the Commonwealth, blah blah blah," and he's got you running around building settlements. And come the end of the game, nothing you did in them settlements makes a difference.
Again,
you get
it
no
does matter
mention
in
of
survival.
it. Right. Okay, but it doesn't matter in regular
that's the thing
gameplay.
is that a lot of these systems are optional and they matter. Yeah, so the settlement system in Fallout 4, for example, is highly impactful in survival mode because that gives you bases to kind of rearm, retool, replenish, rest as you travel around.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I'm learning this.
They throw it at you in a game that didn't initially have survival mode built into it,
Right.
and they added
Right.
it later with an update.
But that doesn't seem too much of a criticism to me, because I kind of feel this with Starfield. This is the one compliment I would give Starfield, and it hasn't even been realized yet. But there are a lot of things in Starfield that feel like they already knew they wanted a survival mode. I'm thinking of things like when you have your spacesuits for different planets and have different things you need to resist and so on. They have a lot of things in Starfield that are there in anticipation of a survival mode that, so far as I can tell, never really materialized or didn't get good.
It's there.
It did materialize. Okay.
So
I haven't played it in months, so I don't know. But
so they added. So one of the big things, I went back and I rewatched your stream OMFs of you playing. There's a bunch of options now in the game settings where you can toggle on food, drink, rest, chems activating slower and stuff like that. That wasn't initially in there. But also another thing with Starfield, if you we want to go there, is that it is designed from the ground up to have mods injected into it. So if you noticed how like in Fallout 4, a lot of times mods kind of seem to kind of be shoehorned in. And have you ever had two mods at the same time take you to the same location for two different quests?
Yes.
Sure.
Like the Pros Bar and the Boston Commons, like how many fucking quests send you there, right?
Right, of course.
I that's why I like Sim Settlements too, is because they have that little toggle button on the outside of it to toggle it to.
Right, but I'm saying, like, that was an afterthought. That wasn't built with intent and with purpose. Whereas Starfield is designed. Later. So like, your settlement, like the base building mechanics in Starfield seem incomplete because they actually are. What they're designed to do is for you to have, I want a space economy mod. So I put that in, and now that gives all my fabricating, my resource extraction.
That leads to another flaw in Starfield. They were counting on mods to make the game. The game
because they already had modders doing the rest of them.
Or
it's true. It's a good point.
They knew that players were going to do those, so they left that infrastructure in place to be added onto. With
but
intent.
you don't make a game and sell a game for the modders. You build a game and make a game and sell a game for those people who don't mod.
Right.
It's just after the fact. It's just after the fact. Like look at any game you can name that's modded. None of the mods were made for the game. None of the mods are easy to shoehorn into the game. The game is complete without the mods.
I think that's Starfield's fatal flaw.
So to argue a game is made to be modded means that the game was incomplete to start with.
And they should have advertised it as a game that you needed to mod.
Yes, they should have. I will definitely agree with that point. But
if they wanted to sell you a game like that, they should have labeled it. This is the game that for modders that you can mod it any way you want it. There you
go. They didn't. Except the code was so broken that the modders gave up on it too, or at least a good portion of them.
Modders didn't give up on it.
Some of them did. Some of them were saying the coding for that game is so jank that they.
And others started companies based off of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can argue that both ways.
Well, in any case, I think Starfield has some interesting aspects there where survival mode potentially was planned for, and so you can also look back at Fallout 4 and say, planned or not planned, and released or not released, whatever they've got going now with it is pretty good.
Well, actually, Skyrim didn't even have a survival system until much later after the game was released.
Right. Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is that, like, I'm not saying that I'm not advocating you guys need to like Starfield.
Like this game, dang it.
Well, what
Timmy
I'm saying
says, like it or not, this is my show. You're gonna like it.
Well, no, it's just like the base building system is very intricate. It is very complex. It is clunky at times. But the purpose is to be able to set up these bases to shift, to actually have space truckers move resources from one planet to another where you have manufacturing.
Okay. I've got a challenge for you, Timmy. I have on my YouTube channel it was either a series of episodes that I recorded or a set of streams that I did where I investigated the outpost building system in Starfield.
I saw it.
Yeah, check that out. Maybe let me know where I went wrong. but you'll see the problems that I had with it right off.
And the issue is like a lot of it wasn't very well documented. It was, especially at launch, it wasn't as well fleshed out as it is now. Like they have added a lot of stuff. Now, is it
But
gonna?
something. So the other reason I wanted to throw this out is because in that set of episodes, my lovely mod Mojo and I sat down and we designed my character to look like Jake Evans from Sims Elements 2.
Yeah, Jake, good old Jake.
So, and we did a pretty good job. I feel
Jake.
like we did I feel like we did a pretty good job on the character design for that series of episodes. So
yeah.
So to go back to what kicked us off on this tangent, we're talking about the Todd Howard interview.
Yeah.
And tying what you guys are saying right now into the next section of my Todd Howard interview comments, was you just talking about Starfield settlement system and what it's designed for. And until 2 days ago with Todd Howard's interview, anytime before Todd Howard interview 2 days ago, I would have said, well, then it sucks. Then it's wrong. Then it's bad. I don't like that they have a settlement system that does not do or is not for what it did in Fallout or what it's done in a bunch of other games. And technically in Fallout 3 as well. Fallout 4's settlement system is based off of a mod for Fallout 3 that did a settlement system.
Yes.
So I'm looking at those systems and going, well, they did it right, or did it enough right that modders could make it really right. And when I see what's happening in Starfield, they didn't do it enough right. And I'm really upset by that until 2 days ago. When I see Todd Howard's interview and he's talking about, again, how he built this game for a bunch of people who do appreciate it. And they're just appreciating it through different ways. Yeah. And they like different things. And he just doesn't care that I don't like it. And he's not going to change it to making me like it. He doesn't want a cyberpunk moment like Cyberpunk had where the game was reclaimed and everybody loved it. He doesn't care if everybody loves it. He's got it working the way he wants it to work and he's happy with it and he doesn't care about me.
Well, and
I really love that because then I know that I'm just wasting time or wasting breath being like, well, this system doesn't work. It's not right. It's not like now I can just look at it and go, well, no, it's just the way Todd Howard wants it. He just doesn't care. And then I can go, so it's not for me. It's totally not for me.
Yeah.
But so that's tying back into the Todd Howard stuff. And then so I'll give you my next one, which is Todd Howard was asked how it felt to not have a game ready based on the top Fallout TV show. Like not a new Fallout 5, but not even like Fallout New Vegas remastered. Like we're in New Vegas in season 2. He doesn't even have the remaster ready. And so what was really interesting to me, again, kind of building on the same concept, is he just had this blank look on his face as the interviewer asked him this. And he just goes, we did. 76.
Yeah.
Fallout 76 has tons of TV content. And he to Todd, he's super comfortable with that answer. Watching him talk about it on this interview, Todd Howard is just like, we do stuff in 76 all the time. It's updated all the time to match the TV show or do things with the TV show or build off of it. And we just don't care that you guys don't have a Fallout 5 yet because we're putting all of our energy and time into 76. In fact, it's something he said was, the interviewer said to him something like, do you feel like you're defensive about 76? Like you have to sort of defend it now because like people are not acknowledging it or whatever. And he goes, well, we have a huge team working on it and they spent a ton of time on it. And we're like on like season 24 or something of like releasing new things for it. And so he was just like, he was kind of like, so yeah, like,
well, what he said is just
that's actually,
that it gains the respect.
This is actually,
you know, that
one reason why I am dragging my feet on playing it right now, Timmy, is because I feel like Todd Howard is trying to shove it down my throat. Trying to be like, you play this game because we're not going to make you another one. And I don't like that.
It's so interesting because I totally see how you get that, Granny VATS. And it's weird because the same exact thing that you're talking about is what makes me feel free. It's hearing him talk about it like this doesn't make me feel like he's trying to get down my throat. It makes me feel like he's kind of like said, like, well, this is where we are now. And there's this big group of people who aren't there. And I don't care because we're having so much fun over on our side that we're just going to keep having fun. And you guys can go do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like it feels like he's not trying to win me
people
over.
like me that may die before they come out with Fallout 5. Okay?
You and I both will be dead
I
before
mean, hell,
Fallout
if
5.
they
I'm
made me a
with you.
damn character in the game, I probably wouldn't see it because I'd either be dead or blind.
But Granny, we know a modder. We can
Mhm.
talk to Kingath to see if we can make an old man
Granny
VATS character
I would
for
never
Fallout.
I would never ask King Gath or anybody else to make a mod for me.
I know there's
You know what,
there's
though?
probably someone out there who will make a mod for it. That
Here's
is you.
somebody made a mod for Shirley Curry in Skyrim, you know.
They
I'm
did.
not
Yeah.
asking to be a companion. I want to be a character.
You know what, though? You
Somebody
can
out there
totally
in the
play.
wasteland that'll blow your fucking head off
Here's the thing.
just because you stepped on her lawn, okay?
76, other than the fact that it's live service, you could
And
totally
she'll get on the nuke and ride it, all right? That's the granny.
you could totally log into 76, start a new character, leave the vault, and play the entire storyline, all the story quests, as if it was a single player Fallout game, and have a blast.
Yeah. I tried it. It wasn't the
I've
I
done
had fun
that
doing
too.
it.
It just they're like the whole idea of Fallout 76 is to be multiplayer, to have fun, being
Yeah.
like do co-op with your friends. I tried 76 with my moderator Mojo, and the thing that before that I played it with another friend of mine a few years previous to that, and I was very off put by the fact that we both had to do the same thing to complete the quest. The quests were not a group effort. You had to do it yourself. You had to do it for your friends. So everything got old very quick because you had to you live your life on repeat. With Mojo, we tried to ignore that as much as possible. She'd already done a bunch of it, so it had been long enough ago that she could guide me through it and get me caught up to her on story and whatnot. It wasn't as big of a deal, but for new players to join up and to play through that game is very obnoxious.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, that's one
Solid.
thing that kind of stops me
Okay.
just a bit.
But here's the thing, credit to Todd Howard. He's very comfy.
I will
with
give
where
him
he
credit for
stands.
that. Yeah,
He is
him being
super
confident,
comfy.
him not being apologetic.
Yep.
These days you never apologize to the internet because they will never accept it. It will never be enough.
Right.
But so have your product, be confident in your product. If people don't like it, that's on them. It's you're making something that you want to make. It's not going to be something that everybody's going to be happy with. You can accept that and keep going with it, or move on to your next project. Maybe that'll have more of appeal for a wider audience or a different audience or whatever. Credit to Todd for that.
That is a nice thing that he did say in the interview. Because they also asked him about Elder Scrolls 6, the sequel to Skyrim, and how that's going and how he's building it out, because people are worried since Starfield. And that was the one nice thing that he did say, is he acknowledged that that Elder Scrolls 6 has a legacy that is different from Starfield. He said, we are going back. There's going to be one map, lots of cool points of interest. It's going to be which I can lot of the old systems that you expected from those kind of games. They're going to come back. They're going back to those kinds of ideas. And I really like that. I thought, okay, so, he doesn't feel like he takes a lot of criticism. He just sort of is like, well, we just do games for different people. It's not for you. But he at least took that criticism to heart. It seems like he was like, no, we're going to make Elder Scrolls 6 be more like a traditional Skyrim.
They're going to make Elder Scrolls 6 more like they're not going to try to make. Yeah, they're going to make Elder Scrolls 6 more like an Elder Scrolls game, and keep it with that core identity, which is something that I think is great, because then what that can do is that can allow different players to have.
Okay, well, let's just say I'm from Missouri today, and they'll have to show me.
As the only person who is actually from.
Because you're from the Show Me State?
Yeah.
That's where I grew up.
I'm not originally from, I'm not from Missouri. I've never been to Missouri, but you know what? Today I'm from Missouri. Show me.
Okay.
Before I buy anything else from any game company, they got to show me that their product is worth buying now.
Yeah.
So,
fair.
I will, to wrap up my comments on Todd's comments. I'm sure you guys go off if you have more to say. My last note I have about his interview is he was asked if Bethesda has any plans to do anything bigger with creations. The guy was asking, like, you basically have glorified modding that people pay money for. Have you ever thought about partnering with someone like on a corporate level where you give them extra access and they can do more with modding and they can make like a big creation? And what was very interesting and tied into our next episode is that Todd Howard name dropped Kingath. He said, well, we work with Kingath Creations.
Okay, so this is something else we'll have to ask him about. Yeah, there we go.
I mean, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I missed that part. I tuned out towards the end there.
Yeah. It was toward the end that he said that. So there you go.
It was.
You know what? I've gotten to where I can't really listen to Todd Howard anymore, so I depend on you guys for my information. I just can't listen to him anymore. I'm sorry. Every time here lately, every time I see him on, I just want to reach out and slap him. And I haven't felt that way about anybody, but yeah, with him, I just feel like somebody needs to slap him a few times and say, hey, Todd, wake up. You have this big audience of older people out here that love your games. Please, think about us while you're making them too. I'm not asking you to solely think about us. Just think about
Todd, you're an old man now.
When you're
He
playing,
is an old man now.
yes, he's gotten older. He needs to think about the fact that a lot of his fan base are older people. We matter.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure it's generational. I think there are a lot of people, young and old, who like some of the games and don't like some others. I mean, I think there are plenty of young people who will be like, I love Skyrim and I don't like Starfield. Please get back.
There are a lot of older people that don't like Starfield and that like the older games. So,
or there's
the opposite.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Like, I really don't like New Vegas. I really don't like 3. I don't like Skyrim.
Yeah.
I like 4, 76, and Starfield.
I was born into Bethesda with Fallout 4. Like, I didn't really know or care much about the other games until, and it wasn't even when Fallout 4 released. I think it was a year or so after that I saw someone play it, and I was like, "Ooh, this actually looks interesting," and got it out and started playing it on my own.
Well, and then it sat on the game.
Yeah, and then it sat on the shelf for 2 or 3 or 4 years before I went back to it, and then I found out you could mod it, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, I didn't start playing Fallout games until 5 or 6 years ago.
2022 is when I started.
Matter of fact, one day I got bored, and my youngest son was living with me, and he had Fallout New Vegas, and I was like, I played all these other games. I'm bored, so I put it in, and I fell in love. But he'd been trying to get me to play it for a long time.
Yeah.
I guess I can say that I'll be the old school guy then. I played Fallout 1 the day it came out or the day after it came out. I don't 100% remember. Yeah. But
you've earned the old man Fallout moniker.
Well, kind of. I have to admit to everybody, I say this on my live streams because people ask me about it. Like, they'll say, like, well, when did you get into Fallout? I say, like, the day Fallout 1 came out. But to be fair, I hated Fallout 1. I hated it. Like, I played it and I couldn't stand it. I pushed my way through, like, I don't know, like something like 30 hours or something like that. And I didn't even finish the game. And by the time I hit hour 30 or 35 or whatever it was, I was like literally pacing back and forth in the room with antagonism toward the game. Like, I couldn't sit in my chair and finish the game because everything the game did annoyed me.
Oh.
So
I originally played Fallout 1 when it came out, and then then I did not get back into games until 2020.
You played Fallout 1 when it came out. How old were you? You're significantly younger than I am.
I was in high school when Fallout 1 came out.
It was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 4,900.
Okay, 17. Okay, I guess you're right. Yeah,
I've got 4,920 hours on the Fallout 4 copy, the Steam copy of Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And then I've got probably another 1,000 hours on the copy on GOG. And then I got another, 2,000-3,000 on the copy for Xbox. So yeah, I've got a lot of freaking Fallout 4.
That's more hours than I have. That's insane.
I didn't realize it till just this moment. I pulled up Steam and saw that one was so high. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. I
Well,
have the
and
copy for Xbox, and I've got the one for GOG now.
You know what we figured out? It's really interesting. Mathematically, and this only works for like right now. Give it another year or 2 or 3, and the numbers won't quite be so convenient. But because Fallout is roughly 10 years old, the math works so that you take whatever thousands of hours you have, and that's how many hours a week you play on average to get there.
It don't
So
work for me.
if you've been playing Fallout 4 for 8,000 hours of your life, that's roughly playing 8 hours a day. Wait, is 8 hours a day? It's 8 hours a week. 8 hours a week for every week since Fallout came out. So if you do 8,000 hours total, it's roughly 8 hours.
Yeah. For our next topic, I actually am just going. This one will be pretty quick. I just wanted to announce that I finally uploaded my first 2 Fallout 76 beginner build videos. They are
Cool.
for a Gunslinger and Rifleman, and for a Power Armor Heavy Gunner build. I am in the process of working on a 3rd video, actually. It is for a beginner commando for 76. All of those will be linked on the Timmy T1000 gaming channel, which will be in the description, and I will post links to those videos as well.
Ah, Timmy, it wasn't Fallout 4?
Not yet. I'm working on a melee one for Fallout 4 right now, and I'm about halfway through.
Sorry, I was just ribbing Timmy about his obsession with 76.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I have a Fallout 4 melee build, but it's still in the works. I am doing the prep work for it.
I'm sorry, Timmy. If you've got a character that's nearly 1,000 level, you've got a obsession with 76.
Oh yeah, no, I got 1,000 hours on the game. I mean, I spend a lot of that time going back through the level 1 through 50 to make these early game builds for people, so that way people can find things,
well,
make the game more
that's actually
approachable.
impressive because you have a full-time job. I mean, Timmy has a full-time job on top of all the other stuff he does. So,
Yeah.
you too? Yeah. See, me, I don't. Me, I'm disabled. Might as well say retired. I'm a retired mother and grandmother. Well, no, I'm still not retired.
And
when you're a mother or grandmother, you're never retired.
And then for our next bit is we actually have a how to mod guide from our dear friend, Mr. Old Man Fallout. So I'm going to switch over to our screen share, and we're going to take a look at this video, and he's going to talk about it.
Well, I'll start before you hit play. I'll start by saying the reason that we did this, you guys, is I asked my viewers, I said, episode 6 has Kingath, but episode 5, we're still planning it out. We don't know what's all going to be in it yet. And at the time, we didn't have the Mariner. We didn't know what we were going to be doing with episode 5. So I asked my viewers, what would you like to see in an episode? And one of the things they said is that they wanted build guides, which is so lovely that Timmy T is now doing build guides for us. And then they also said they wanted a modding guide. And so I just put together this little 4-minute video and I sent it over, and here we go.
I guess maybe I should make a video too.
Hey, Skyrim build guys would be good. All right, so without further ado, let's get going.
Hi everyone, it's Old Man Fallout, and I wanted to give you guys a quick guide on how to do modding. Right now, you're looking at the default main page for Fallout 4, and you can see here in the menu, there are some options to get into the creations, the mods, the add-ons, and you can use these optional areas to use the built-in systems that Fallout 4 has to do modding, but those systems do have some downsides, so I want to show you guys how I do modding on my system. So let's try it. Let's quit out of this. So this is Vortex Mod Manager. Now, Vortex does have a competitor, which is called Mod Manager 2. So you could download either of those programs and start doing mods outside of Fallout 4, just doing mods on your own, and you could manage various different games. But I'm going to show you Vortex today. So this is Vortex, and you can see I currently manage 3 games, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Skyrim. You can also go to the search for a game area and grab more games that you would want to manage. So right now, Fallout 3 is active. I'm going to turn Fallout 4 active. So let's click the activate button. So Fallout 4 is now my actively managed video game. And if we go from the games area where we're choosing which game to manage down to mods, it should show all the mods I've installed for Fallout 4. So here they are. What's really great about Vortex is a system called Loot. And let me explain why this is so nice. So when you have a ton of mods like this, the load order for the mods matters. So what that means is, if, say, thematic and practical mod is stomping all over your settlement markers mod and it's breaking settlement markers, you would want to ensure that thematic and practical loaded before settlement markers and then settlement markers loaded after. The issue, of course, is that if you're doing the regular modding in Fallout 4 using the built-in systems, you have to manually juggle that. You have to figure that out for yourself. But if you are using Vortex, it uses a system called Loot. And I'm going to show that to you here in plugins. This is showing us the actual load order of items as managed by Loot. And so what you'll see here is the built-in products are listed here. But then you come down here and now it has all the mods that I've installed. And you can see there is a load order column showing which mod is installed first, second, third, and fourth, so on. Down to mod 100 something. I never have to manage this load order. If we go back to mods. So back here, you might say, well, okay, this is great, but how did you get all these mods into Vortex in the first place? And that's really easy. Let's go to my second screen here. This is just a browser that you're seeing here. And we're currently at nexusmods.com. And in nexusmods.com, when you come here, if you've never been here before, you probably have to create an account to get started. But once you have, you can tie your Nexus mods to Vortex. And then whenever you're in Nexus, you can search for games. In this case, I'll go into Fallout 4 games. Now, I can't actually scroll down and show you a bunch of stuff because there's some naughty things down below this page, but that's fine because I just want to search for one mod in particular. So let's go to Salvage Beacons. There they are. Salvage Beacons by Kingath. That's the one that we want. Let's click it. So what this does is it allows you to put basically a radio beacon into a treasure chest of some sort. You dump all the gear you found into that treasure chest, and then your settlers will hone in on the beacon, grab all the treasure, and bring it back to one of your settlements. So it's a pretty cool little mod, and I want it. So let's click into the Files section. And here, we're just going to click Mod Manager Download. And now it gives me the option. I can be a person using a free system and go slow, or I can pay to get real fast. We're going to just go slow. Okay, so it's now switched over to Vortex. It's installing. You see some quick deploying messages there. And that should be it. And so now we can see it here at the top of the list, Salvage Beacons. It's enabled, it's installed, it's ready to go. I can give it a thumbs up if I play with it and like it. I can give it a thumbs down or leave it alone if I don't like it. This shows you the kind of idea of how the system works. And if we come over to plugins, we should now have it here. And I don't know if it's going to put it at the end or where it's going to put it. It didn't put it at the end. So it puts Salvage Beacons somewhere in the list here, wherever it thought was reasonable to put it so that it wouldn't bother any other mods. There it is, Salvage Beacons. So it thinks the best location for Salvage Beacons is at place number 59. If you use Vortex, you can just install mods and everything just works and you don't have to worry about it. So this is the system I'd suggest everybody use. Have fun. Thanks for watching.
That was really good. I liked it. That was
Good
great.
Todd Howard callback there. It just works.
Yeah. Also, I liked the plug-in for Kingath. But
yeah, I'm trying to do all the callbacks.
What you didn't include in that video is they can't use just any mods. Even with Vortex, you can get mods that will conflict and it won't let you know sometimes. And so that'll end up crashing your game.
Yeah, if you can,
infinite loading screens,
But
or yeah.
it does automate a lot of it.
Yes. But sometimes
me,
you do run in to an issue.
To me, while it may not be perfect, it is 100 times better than the built-in mod management
Oh,
system
yes.
that Bethesda has in Fallout 4. That system is jank.
Didn't
And
they
Yeah, I
just get done
used it.
renovating it? Didn't they just
what's
get
that?
done renovating it?
Well,
'Cause
they
they
did.
just
They did. It's now called Creations, right?
Yeah.
It's a new system that like tries to not differentiate between paid and unpaid so much anymore. It's just all in a seamless experience. But it still requires you to manually manipulate load order when you've got, say, 100 mods you installed.
So
You're going to
one
want
of the
to
things
Yeah,
that
manipulate.
so one of the we probably should table this until King Gas shows up to talk about the creations, because there's questions in there about that I will have for King Gas, so we can keep that to his show if
well, there is
possible.
one thing I did want to interject here is that you can have Vortex manage your creations and your mods at the same time.
Yeah,
It does
just
have
you
that
have to know
functionality.
how to do it.
I
Yeah.
haven't done it, but I know it is possible because when I
It
talked to
does.
some of the
It has done that for a while. Like before they upgraded the Creation Club to just creations, and I had some of the creations downloaded and installed. They did show up in the plugins list, like OMF pointed out. And usually they showed up before any other mods that you might install. They were the
Yeah,
Fallout base
well,
game, ESM, those creations, and then everything else.
yeah, well, in my load order in Fallout 4 right now, there was a mod in the collection that I downloaded that actually turned off all creations. So any creations, yeah, you can't even
was
go
disabled.
into the creation menu.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
I mean, it is
I guess
possible.
some of the mods might conflict with creations, and that's why
There's
they hid
probably
it.
also there's probably also an important caveat that we should mention here. Some mods that you will find on Nexus are only compatible with old gen. So if you're playing next gen
Yeah.
Fallout 4, you're playing Anniversary Edition of Fallout 4, those mods, some mods won't work. Other mods will not be updated. That's the biggest thing with mods is you got to make sure it's compatible with the version
do a
of
lot
the
of
game that
research.
you're playing.
Actually, what Nexus has done now is if you know the version of game you're running, you can actually click on that version of the game, and you'll only see mods and collections for that version.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
Because I'm running the 163, which is the old version,
the best one.
Same. Yep.
and I click on 163, and it just shows me mods and collections for that specific.
I'll have to keep that in mind next time I go
You just
mod
have to
hunting.
pay attention because sometimes the page will have a next gen option on the mod page, so you have to make sure that you're not actually hitting next gen. But yeah. But that's what I do with my collection. I just put in my version of the game, and it pulled up all the collections that would run with that version.
That's good to know, actually.
Yeah, I did not. I was not aware of that. It's been a while since I've gone mod hunting.
Yeah.
Well, I actually started with when I started modding with the Bethesda mods page. And yes, it was a
Bethesda.net. Yeah.
challenge. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a challenge because I was always getting the load order
Load
wrong.
order wrong. All right. So, dun, 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 dun. Who would like to go first?
I'm the lady. Let me go first.
All right, we can do that. Let me pull it up on the screen.
Because I'm the female. I am the female this time, here.
Alright.
This is the Long 15. This is a motel room called the Hawaiian King. Cool music, too. There's only one song that Twitch didn't like.
I was gonna say the audio is cut out because I have it suppressed because of copyright and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm just going to walk out the door real quick. I love the song. With the big iron on his hip. So you've got this cool motel. All right. This is lore friendly. This is one of the more lore friendly mods that I've ever found. It's an NCR mod, an NCR expansion. But you go down the Long 15, which is where you go after you've set off the nukes in the Long 15. late in the game.
Yep.
It's all usually irradiated.
Oh,
Well,
it is,
before
yeah.
you do that, this is a mod. And so far, that's how much I've opened up. There are more. But it's great. It's fully voiced. This guy talks. I told him, thank you for your service. But it's fully voiced. And it is just, yeah, you can't tell. In my opinion, you cannot tell this is not Fallout New Vegas. And then with all the mods I've got, you know, the weather and all. But
No,
yeah.
it's got a full quest line and everything too.
Oh yeah, it's got multiple main quests. It's not just one main quest.
How does it integrate with the main story of FNV?
When you go to the Mojave Outpost, you're approached by a guy that lost his identity. Some caravaner stole his identity and went in, and he can't go in.
Gotcha.
So then you have to go in and discover and be able to get the guy in. And yeah, it's a bureaucracy, but there's also a lot more stuff. Now, so far, I haven't run into any major creatures. The creatures seem to be smaller.
Okay.
But they have an excuse for that. They actually cleared the area of the bigger creatures.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which allowed the littler creatures to move in. But yeah, it's kind of dark on the screen. You see the lightning though. And then it's got its own radio station. And like I was saying, it actually only has, I played it on Twitch, and it seemed like they only muted one song, and I don't know which song it was, but there was one song that they play on the radio there. So, but yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. I haven't completed it, but there's supposedly 4 player homes. Now I know here there's bungalows, but you have to do certain things I don't know about yet to get a bungalow. But what I was going to say about Gopher, he's doing this. And every time he goes to that motel room, there's a settler or a woman that shows up in there, resident. And he wakes up to her all the time. And he's like, can't you at least tell me your name?
All right.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
And the 115 will be linked in the description. As with
it's a great mod though.
As with everything that we talk about on the show. And up next is Old Man Fallout. Manufacturing Extended. This is by Kentington. You care to tell us a little more about this one, OMF?
Yeah, so actually it's 3. There's 3 mods. They all go hand in hand, and they should all be listed in the document that we'll put up with the video that you guys can find in the description. So there's links to all 3, and I'll give you just all 3 of them real quick. Here we go. It's Manufacturing Extended, then Manufacturing Extended Enhanced, and Better Manufacturing. These are 3 mods. They're by different people, but they all know about each other, and they all work with each other. So these mods are really interesting, and the reason I thought I'd feature them on this podcast today is that it's come up now, I think, 3 times on my live streams that people have asked about this. So you can see it there on screen right there with the bodies and with a bunch of the other things. Basically what these 3 mods will do together is they take the manufacturing system that I think comes with the Contraptions DLC. Yep. This manufacturing system allows you to do things like manufacture your own bullets so that you don't need to go to stores and buy them. And it's built into the game. Cool. It's a great system in the game. But it has severe limitations the way it's been deployed because they delivered this with no DLC support and no other support. In other words, it only does base game things. So, for example, if you want to build some armor, you're going to be able to build armor that is just in the base game. Nothing that would be enhanced from Far Harbor or Nuka World or Automatron.
You're talking about you're talking about the Contraptions DLC didn't get put out.
Contraptions DLC does not support the other DLC. The Contraptions DLC, at least for the manufacturing system, the Contraptions DLC manufacturing only builds out things you can find in the base game. At least as far as things that I care about and I'm concerned about, I was not able to get the things I wanted. For example, if you want, I think it's called 4570. I think that's the ammo type that you get in, is it Far Harbor? You get that?
Yep.
And then you get 76 in Nuka World, I believe. Those ammo types are not supported by the base games, by the Contraption DLC manufacturing system. So you want to build those types of ammo, you can't. So these 3 mods that I put together for you guys basically extend the manufacturing system to do tons and tons of extra manufacturing. And so every bullet type in the game, all the DLC bullet types, you can now build them. And all the armor types you can now build, different like weapons you could build. But then on top of that, what I really liked about it is kind of what Timmy T was showing on screen there for a moment with the bodies. This is what generally causes people to ask me, like, what am I doing and how am I doing it on my live streams? Is, yeah, that one right there. There is a people eater. There is a manufacturing system that will eat up people. So you take, if your town gets raided, if your settlement gets raided, and you defeat all the enemies, you put them onto a conveyor belt. It goes through the manufacturing process, and what comes out the other side are all sorts of goodies, depending on what systems you've put together. But you can have it separate out all their gear, or if you've already de-geared them, you can have it do things like work on the body itself so that you get a little bit of human meat, which is typically worthless, but you get a bunch of other goodies with it. And in particular, you'll get bones off of bodies, which are actually important. I didn't know bones mattered when I first started playing the game.
Cutting fluid.
You've got it. You know where I'm going with this. If you need oil in your game, if you have a shortage of oil in your settlement, you can take bones and go to a chemistry workbench, and you can make cutting fluid under the miscellaneous section. And
water,
cutting fluid
steel,
breaks down to oil.
Acid, bone.
Yes. So, I put these people eaters, these body eaters in my settlements. I also have bullet manufacturing in my settlements. And when my settlement gets raided, we just load the bodies up onto these conveyor belts and we get all their loot, and including their bones. And when I'm running low on ammo, as I have been for the last couple of days, I go to my manufacturing and build a bunch of bullets. We've been doing that for the last few live streams because we did a crowd control live stream for Fallout 4, like 2 or 3 live streams back for me. And when you do that, the viewers can throw monsters into the game to fight you. And they threw in, I think we checked, it was over 1,000 ghouls that they threw at me in a mob. It took me something like 4 hours to get through it. And it almost crashed the game. In fact, it may have crashed the game once. And
that's why I don't do crowd control. I just
the wild thing though was I had prepared for crowd control and I had amassed thousands of rounds of ammo, but the crowd control wiped it out. I lost everything just fighting all the monsters. So what do? I go to my settlement, I go to the manufacturing, I dump a ton of loot into the manufacturing, and out comes
and their bodies.
And I just had manufacturing build me up a bunch more bullets so we can do another crowd control session. It's great.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to need many manufacturing places. I think I'm going to need these mods to make it through my Survivor one. Honestly,
there's one more incredible feature for manufacturing that is not in the base game or contraptions, but it is in these 3 mods. There is something called the Connected Workbench manufacturing device. And what this is a device where you hook it up to your manufacturing system, you aim it at your red workshop or your red workbench. And if it's close enough to the workbench, it will begin to suck materials out of the workbench based on what you've specified. So you tell it you want to get fertilizer. Yeah, you get fertilizer and lead, and it'll then suck fertilizer and lead out of your workbench, even if it's currently in other things. So if, for example, you have weights that you've put into your workbench that consist of lead but have not been broken down to lead, this system will break the weights down into lead and it'll use the lead to make your bullets. But what's more interesting is you can tell it, please pull from connected workbenches. All the settlements that have caravans or provisioner lines, pull from all of those too. And what will happen then is if you are like me, where you've organically built up 5, 6, 10, 20 settlements, and they all have gear in their workshops, this will suddenly pull fertilizer or lead or steel or whatever it is you need to make your objects. It'll pull it from the 20 different settlements that you've got, so long as they're connected. And all of a sudden you have 500 in fertilizer and 1,000 lead and 400 steel or whatever it is. And you can build you can build a lot when you get that connected thing going. It's very nice.
Is that next gen, or is that, do they have a pre-next gen?
It was old gen to start with.
I'm doing everything on pre-next gen. So
old gen.
Okay. And does it work? Do you know if it works with Sim Settlement too?
I don't know why it wouldn't.
There's no reason to think that it wouldn't. My only issue is that why would you need this in Sim Settlements 2?
True.
Right, because it would do most. Well, Sim Settlements 2 doesn't let you build bullets, though, right?
Yeah, it does.
Right, and there's you can buy. System. Well, I'm not sure about all the different like mods or add-ons or plots that are available. So there might be a plot that will make bullets for you and make ammunition. There is a commercial one that's a vending machine that will give you and that's why I have that particular plot that particular add-on is because because I've got the DLCs installed, I will occasionally run into like a lever action rifle out in the wild of the Commonwealth. You don't have to go to the DLC areas to get those guns. You can pick them up in the Commonwealth base game, but you can't get ammo for them. So the plot with the vending machines, the vendomatics is what they're called, can give you the ammunition once they get leveled up. So it's pretty handy.
That's awesome. All right.
I should probably go next because mine actually kind of ties into Old Man Fallout's.
Okay. We'll do the transition and then let me get you set up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to need more Sim Settlement 2 add-ons because they didn't put any real add-ons in the Sim Settlements 2. And I'm noticing that
SS2 Extended has a lot of the add-on features.
King Gath did make it so that add-ons would be very easy to add for modders who wanted to expand out its capabilities. I don't have all the add-ons. I've got the ones that I like or the ones that give me the things that I want. I haven't found an add-on yet that will give me an internal advanced or high-tech power plot. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if anyone's made one or if it's that they don't want to because the advanced and high-tech power plots require
upgrading.
Not require anything that would eliminate
there is an add-on.
It's more of a lore thing. It's more of a lore thing. It's like what they use to make what they put in the advanced and high-tech plots for power and water wouldn't fit into an internal plot. And I don't know if anyone's figured out how to make it look like it's an advanced.
I thought the Wasteland.
I had an add-on. An add-on on my last gameplay where it made the high-tech power and water these really high-tech. I can't remember what add-on.
But it's the indoor plot version that I need of all of those.
I think it's a 1x1 that acts as an indoor one. Is I think what it is under the SS2 Extended.
I had one that did indoor plots. Go ahead.
So for our next mod highlight, is from the Mariner, and it is called Loot Detector.
Yes, and this ties into Old Man Fallout's mod selection because you can pick up. So what I have trouble with in my playing is inventory management when I want all the junk, or I want all the weapons off the bodies, or I want all the armor off the bodies. It's less helpful for those last two things. But if you're out and exploring the wasteland and you're worried about inventory filling up with all the junk you can possibly get, just get loot detector. But more important, and this is where I wanted to start, I actually wrote it down this way and then forgot. So the biggest reason, and this is the biggest question I get when I'm playing, is what mod is it that's highlighting all the bodies? Because you go up against raiders or gunners or bugs or whatnot, if it's dark or if it's in an area where the bodies will blend in with the terrain and make it hard for them to find, loot detector will illuminate or highlight the bodies for you to make it easier to find them.
Oh God, I
Um,
need that.
yeah, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's what most people want loot detector for. There are mods, there are other mods that out there that do the same thing, but that's all they do. Loot detector has so much more on top of that. Loot detector can detect objects, nerd stuff, light it up for you so you can have options to like illuminate locked chests or locked objects so you know you can go and unlock it. It's got things to
Find
highlight.
perk magazines.
Find perk magazine. Yeah, there's a legendary detector built in. So if you're near a legendary item or like a collectible item like magazines or bobbleheads, it'll put a little it'll put a little pip on your compass to tell you that that's nearby. It's really handy for finding all that
Oh,
stuff.
that is cool.
You can do it's and what's nice is you can either have this mod be perk dependent, so you can leave it off until you've earned a level, and you can put a spot into the scrapper perk, which is what's usually used to activate the mod, or you can choose to activate it right off the bat as soon as you step out of the vault. It's got auto loot capabilities. So you take care of a bunch of people, you walk up to their bodies, zap, zap, zap. You get all the stuff. Not like I said, kind of fails in the weapons and armor area. But if they're carrying food, if they're carrying caps, if they're carrying ammunition, that all gets sucked up into your inventory. If they're carrying any junk, that gets zapped up and sent
All
to
right, I
off
would
to a
rather have
workshop.
that because yeah, most of the time I don't loot the armors a lot of time. So
Yeah, but it's also got things like caps for guns. Like if you've got the weapons that you need or that you want to have in your playthrough, whatever guns the bad guys are carrying will get sucked up, and it's like it's like going and selling it at the market. You don't you It's a great time saver for me
oh my God,
because
yeah.
it's I can go into a room chock full of junk and it's all gone. It's all sent back to my workshop. I don't have to fill up, leave, drop it off in my workshop, come back, pick up the rest of it, and move on.
That would
Same thing
definitely
with
be great for survival.
yeah. I don't know how it works with survival. I've never played survival, but you can pick up the food and water that they're carrying. You can pick up the chems that they're carrying, and it's a great way to manage your inventory so you won't fill up every 5 seconds while you're out in the world. I love it for that. Recently I've been playing it with that particular feature off because when my current run through of Sims Elements 2, I called it Mojo's challenge. She doesn't like loot detector automatically picking up all the stuff and sending it somewhere. She likes to pick it up herself, and she's a loot goblin, so she likes to like hunt for things, find it
That's
herself,
me.
transport it. But you can choose which workshop to send it to. So if you've got a crafting base you want to send everything to, you can send it. You can select which settlement workshop it goes to. Default is it will send it to the most recent workshop you accessed. So if you were in County Crossing last and you're exploring that area, if you pick
that's
up
really
loot, it'll get sent there. That's why I thought it was a good tie-in to Old Man Fallout's with the manufacturing, because if that's sucking junk from other settlements out in the world, then you don't need to worry so much about sending all your junk to a specific settlement. Your crafting benches will or your crafting will just pull it from wherever it gets sent, and it's that sounds super efficient to me, and I might have to try this out just to like have the settlement somewhere that just sorts out all the junk for me, and then I can go to that settlement. That's where I build all my stuff, and it makes it easier. I don't know. I'll think about that. Another nice thing is if you're if you're worried about your workshop getting too full, or you're worried about your workshop having so much in it that you can't possibly use up all the resources you've collected, there's a hotkey switch to turn off loot detector so it
Oh,
won't
nice.
pick up things automatically. You can't and then beyond that, say you've got a million wood, a million steel, a million tin cans, but you're woefully short of adhesive. You're woefully short of aluminum. While you can set
Ballistic
loot
fiber.
detector, yeah, you can specifically tell loot detector to only pick up those things, which is also super handy. There's
Man,
just
it
Really
sounds
so
nice.
like
much.
it's a really handy mod.
This mod, I love this mod. I never play without this mod anymore because it's super duper. There's stuff in this that I don't even think I have time to cover yet. That's really helpful. Um, there's, yeah, just check it out. It's got so much cool stuff in it. If you are a loot goblin, or if you
I am.
are only looking to craft the things that you want to craft and not more than that, this comes in handy both
Yep,
ways.
it really does. I'll have to check this out. So for the last one, we're actually gonna I'm actually highlighting a free creation from Bethesda for Starfield. Um, this was actually it's called At Hell's Gate. It is oh boy, I did not mean to do that. It is this is actually created by King Gath for Bethesda Studios. It is a short quest and a really fun dungeon based on the Doom universe. Basically, you go in, you have like a really challenging Doom style fight, and at the end of it, you get the Doom Slayer armor, you get the Doom Slayer shotgun, and then there's a sword you get as well. But it's a lot of the monsters are it's a pretty tough dungeon. I would definitely wouldn't recommend doing it early level. But what was fun was this was their first collab like in an official capacity. Before
I
he
think it looks
created
great,
the
by the
Clarence
way.
Outfitters and but it was a lot of fun. And you get a cool sword, you get a cool shotgun, and a nice suit of armor out of it that are all 3-star legendary. It was just a fun run through, and it just put a lot of you know. I was a huge fan of it. It is achievement friendly, and it doesn't cost any money, so that's why I wanted to kind of highlight it. So it's one of the fun ones. I like adding a lot of the extra dungeon to Starfield. And that's why I wanted to bring it up. Is there anything else we wanted to talk? Any other topics we wanted to cover before we kind of started to roll out?
Well,
Well,
besides the
when
fact
we roll
that I've got 525 mods now, go ahead.
when we roll out our goodbyes, I just want to remind the Mariner he's got some things he'd like to plug, so don't forget that. And the other thing I would say is also a reminder: don't forget our next episode will be coming out weirdly fast. We seem to do about
Yes.
one a month, but I think this next episode will come out in just a week or two after this one,
Yep.
and it should have a a big name in it. I'm excited.
I am
So
very
watch for
excited.
that.
So Mariner, before we go, just as a reminder, where can people find you? And what projects are you on?
People can find me on YouTube, Deep Dive Gaming, Twitch, Deep Dive Gaming, Rumble, Deep Dive Gaming. You can also find me on another channel called another group that I'm a part of called Lagging Out Entertainment. And they are also on Twitch, on YouTube, Rumble, Kick. Let's see, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and then they've got a Twitter account. You can also find them, I believe, on TikTok, several social medias, Facebook, I think, as well. Um, we have a website, lagginout.com,
Which will be
where
linked.
I've mentioned my articles are posted.
Hmm?
Yeah. I even sent you the link for the specific one talking about season 2. It's short, it's to the point, and but there are other things you can find on the website articles page,
Nice.
like my discussions on Starfield. So Timmy, you probably will disagree with me on a lot of it, but if you all go and check out those articles, there is a comment section. Please leave your comments so that we know, so that we can
Yeah.
finally have some traffic to the website, because that has also been sadly lacking. But I stream on Legonauts channel on Thursday nights at 7:30 Eastern time. They've got a couple other streamers. I also stream with one of the other hosts, Hero, on Tuesday night, doing what we call the Stream of Consciousness show. It's an hour long. Right now we're playing Zelda. We've been on the Zelda kick for probably the last 4 or 5 months. We'll probably be on the Zelda kick for another 4 or 5 months
Which Zelda are you
or
playing?
longer. But right now we're playing Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
We're probably about halfway through, according to Hero. I know nothing about this particular Zelda game. Hero is guiding me, and we're kind of passing the baton, as it were, for playing through this game. And then there is the Lagging Out Live podcast Friday nights at 8:00 Eastern time with Hero and Chieftain. Sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm not. They have other guests and hosts. So I definitely recommend or request that you go check out Lagging Out,
No, we'll
because
definitely check.
I
I'm
told
gonna check them
Chieftain
out
I
for
would plug
sure.
them hard. And
Yeah. Now the website looks really cool, man. I like it. I'll be looking at some stuff, watching checking out
that's
some of
actually
their stuff
my
here.
design.
Oh, you designed it. Awesome. I see there's an
That is my
article
design
about
you're looking at. Yes, this is my
the
website.
son of the devil from The Shining.
Yeah, a lot of the later articles are by Curvy Tech, who's recently joined Lagging Out. She
Okay.
writes good articles. Hero and I used to do podcast recaps. We got a little tired, a little burnt out. There are older articles by other members to check out. So there's a lot of good content on the website. Makes it really easy to, like, if you miss our live podcasts on Friday night, you can go to the website and find it easy. And just, yeah, please go check us out over there, because we need some attention. We need some love.
Sounds good. Well, I'll be checking it out for sure. Well, thanks again for joining me, Granny.
Yeah,
OMF.
thank you.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure as always.
Yeah, I'm here.
I know you are.
Yeah,
I
thank
can
you.
hear you breathing.
I was having a squirrel moment. I did. I had a squirrel moment.
I love your
Granny and
squirrel.
her squirrel moments. That's
I
me.
love your
That's me.
I
Squirrel.
love your squirrel moment. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
joining.
very much for joining us. And
cheers,
it was a pleasure
everyone.
as always,
You're welcome.
everybody. Have a good
you
night.
drinking moonshine on us there, old man Fallout?
Apple cider.
I look like the
thank you.
moonshine that I used to drink down there in Georgia.
All right.
All
Some of
right,
that peach
everybody.
moonshine.
Have a good night. Bye.
Hey, guys.
Bye.